Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pascack Clutch Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3, I believe. I'm Matthew Merlino, along with my co-hosts Sean Barry, Michael McKay, Sam Koppelman, and Alex McKay. Gentlemen, big week in sports overall, but we'll start with Pascack Hills sports and with boys soccer, who finally did not lose a game. No offense to the boys soccer team, but they tied Westwood 2 nights ago with a 0-0 tie. You can see the replay of that game here on PH Athletics. They are now 0-3-1. Hills football unfortunately lost to Fairlawn on last Thursday, 21-7. They play Indian Hills this coming Friday night at Indian Hills. Time 6:30 p.m. for right now. If you want to show up, go to Indian Hills, not Pascack Hills. Girls soccer is now 2-1-1 after their tie with Mawa, their loss to Pascack Valley, and their 4-0 win against Westwood on Monday. Girls tennis is 2-2 with wins against Mawa and a 5-0 loss to Bergen Tech. And we'll end with girls volleyball, who has a game tonight. You'll see that here on PH Athletics around 5:30, but they are 4-0 with wins over Ramsey, Mawa, and Lakeland. Now college football, and we will start with just going over some things, but we will start focusing on Tennessee versus Florida. Tennessee coming into this one, I believe, ranked 10 or 9? 11. So they didn't change. They were ranked number 11 coming into this one, and they lose 29-16 to Florida State. What's the deal? Volunteers, what happened?
Weird game.
Well, Tennessee, it's been 10 years or more. I think it's 10. They haven't won a game in the swamp at Gainesville, and that was a huge win for Florida, too, because their first game they lost on the road to Utah. Then week 2 they versed a random one, and now first SEC matchup of the year, home primetime, and they get the win. Huge win for the Gators.
Yeah. So a big win for Florida, and we will go over the AP Top 25 in just a moment, but they moved up from being unranked to now number 25 with that win over Tennessee. The other big game that we want to talk about is Colorado State against Colorado. The Buffaloes coming in at number 18 with Coach Prime Deion Sanders. Final score 43-35 in double overtime going until 2 o'clock in the morning because it started at 10 o'clock here on the East Coast.
Really good game.
Very interesting game. Whoever watched it is probably now sleep deprived, so we hope you're doing well.
I can vouch for that.
Yep. Alex is stupid. He stayed up.
I watched the whole game. Really good game.
Yeah, so what were your thoughts?
I honestly went to bed. I
Well,
was
so
so tired.
Bob thought he was watching the college football national championship.
Yeah, I went to sleep before the start of the game.
Yeah.
I think I woke up when they were going to overtime or before overtime, but I didn't watch.
I didn't even watch the game at all because it's Colorado State. Who cares?
It is, but what a game! Big scare for Deion, I guess, because you steamrolled TCU, you steamrolled Nebraska, and now you almost lose to Colorado
And
State.
Travis Hunter's hurt too.
And Travis Hunter is out for, I believe, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was very late.
That's
Yeah.
the dual threat.
He was
Offensive and
No,
defensive.
the guy
Colorado
who
player.
actually hit him is receiving death threats
Yeah.
online
which is
and at his house.
And
He had
Deion
his
did say something
address
about
leaked.
it.
yes,
And
and
he-
Deion and the entire Colorado team, to their credit, did say, "Don't do that. You're dumb if you do." And to be fair, you are dumb if you do that. It's just football, guys.
Even Travis Hunter just said it's football. You can't do anything about
it's
it.
football. There's no reason to kill somebody over it.
Yeah, or send death
That
threats.
hit
Yes,
just got unlucky on
Yeah.
Travis and he got hurt.
It's just like sometimes
It's a
I
physical-
haven't
it's a
seen
physical
the
sport.
I haven't seen the replay, but sometimes you come in, you can't stop your momentum, you hit them, and things happen.
It is what it is
You
at that
can't
point.
you can't really do anything about it, and that's what Travis Hunter, who by the way was the guy who got injured, said about it.
It was
So,
like the DeMar Hamlin thing.
Exactly.
It was
What?
really,
can't do anything
Yeah, you
about
can't
it.
do anything about it.
Well, that's
It just
different.
happened.
It just happened.
It
He
just
wasn't
happened.
hurt. He
There's
had
nothing you can
cardiac
do about it.
arrest.
Yeah, but still, it was the hit.
It is
that
what it
caused
is.
The cardiac arrest.
Makes sense.
Anyways, so that ends our quick college football go over. We'll go over the AP Top 25 quickly here. Georgia and Michigan stay at 1 and 2. Texas up 1 to number 3. Florida State down 1 to number 4. USC, Ohio State, Penn State, Washington, and Notre Dame don't move in positions 5 through 9. Oregon up 3 spots to 10. Utah up 1 spot, LSU up 2 spots in 11th and 12th. Alabama down 3 because they almost lost to South Florida during a rain delay, unless that was last week, but I don't think it was.
And they were down 3-0 at rain delay.
And they were down 3-0 at halftime.
I was watching that
3-3 at
Bama
halftime.
game. It was not that good.
Not good for Alabama, and they play Ole Miss this weekend in Tuscaloosa. We'll tell you the big games coming up for college football this Saturday and the rest of the week. Oregon State 14, Ole Miss up to 15, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Duke, Colorado, Miami, Washington State, UCLA, Tennessee down 12 to 23, Iowa and Florida round out the top 25. And I want to say something about the Atlantic Coastal Conference, the ACC, because North Carolina and Duke play always around, Thanksgiving or sometime in November.
Yeah. I think so.
And that, looking at it right now, they're both 3-0. That could be for the ACC championship, or at least a berth in the ACC
All I can say,
championship
no
game.
one from the ACC is making the college football playoff this year.
Yeah.
Not Florida State, no.
And then
Maybe though.
No,
Maybe.
no. They almost lost to Boston College, and they're probably going to lose to Clemson this weekend.
Florida State.
Boston College almost had a comeback. That was
But still, it's almost a loss.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how it happens. Florida State was up big at halftime, and they almost lost. So
And their quarterback's a 6-year senior.
exactly.
Like, come on.
So Florida State will have to see their fourth, which it's not the official college football playoff poll, it's the AP poll, but they are currently in that last spot. But again, I don't see them making it over USC or Ohio State or Penn State or even Notre Dame if Notre Dame goes undefeated.
Exactly.
Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to
You
see.
just gotta
They're
give it
not
time.
making. I already know they're not making it.
So coming up this weekend in college football on Saturday, September 23rd, our 12 o'clock matchup, the big one on ABC is number 4 Florida State at Clemson. So that is a big test for Florida State. If they lose that,
Florida State's
that's
going down.
probably going to put them down around number 10. The big noon kickoff on Fox at 12 is number 16 Oklahoma at Cincinnati, which should be a blowout if the Sooners are real. And then we start getting into the good stuff. 3:30 ABC, number 19 Colorado at number 10 Oregon. Probably Colorado's first big test, their first Pac-12 game. You also have, in the Pac-12, number 22 UCLA against number 11 Utah at 3:30 on Fox. We talked about it earlier in Tuscaloosa, number 15 Ole Miss against number 13 Alabama. That's 3:30 for the SEC on CBS. That's pretty much your 3:30 time slot games. But then we start getting really good. 7 o'clock ESPN, number 12 LSU at home against Arkansas. Oregon State playing Washington State in the Battle of the Pac-12 Remnants at 7 p.m. on Fox. Florida plays Charlotte. Should be a big win, but hey, you never know with the Gators. Texas plays Baylor in Waco at 7:30 on ABC. NBC has our college football game of the week at 7:30. Number 6 Ohio State versus number 9 Notre Dame. Notre Dame's first big test. And let's hope Ohio State goes down so we can laugh at the McKays. In other 7:30 news, we have Penn State against Iowa in the CBS second slot. And that is about it. But what a slate of games on Saturday.
You also have Texas.
Makes up
Baylor.
for last week, to be honest.
Yes, it does. Last week was very, very
You also
bad.
have Texas Baylor.
Texas
ABC.
Baylor, we did mention that 3:30 ABC, or sorry, 7:30
yeah.
ABC. That's the Saturday night football game, but I don't think anybody will be watching that with
My-
two top 10 teams playing Ohio State.
I
Notre
think
Dame.
what's going to happen, Florida State's going to lose to Clemson. Oregon's going to beat Colorado, most likely. Alabama, Ole Miss, that game's going to be close. I think Bama will come out top because I don't think Nick Saban's going to let them lose. And then the big game later, Ohio State, Notre Dame. That
In South Bend.
Yeah, that game is going to go down. I don't know who's going to win
It's
that one.
it's gonna be close.
Both have good offenses, good defenses.
I mean,
It's gonna be tight, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
fun to watch.
it's Notre
It's
Dame.
a
It's
big
real.
weekend
It's
football.
really Notre Dame and Ohio State's first big test of the year. They
See,
both
here's the
haven't
thing.
played
Here's the thing.
anybody big.
For Notre Dame, if they want to make the college football playoff, they have to win this game.
They
if
have
they
to go
lose,
undefeated.
It's over.
If they
They
lose
have
any
to go
game,
exactly.
no matter who,
Uh huh.
it's pretty much over.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Notre Dame's college football playoff chances up for grabs very early in the season. Still
And
September, but
this game-
already we're talking about playoff chances possibly being lost.
This game will also prove, because like now Marcus Freeman, head coach for Notre Dame, he has a good team now, and now we can truly see from a year ago when Notre Dame was at Ohio State. We all knew Ohio State was going to win because they had C.J. Stroud and all those
Yeah,
guys.
just too much talent.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame, like, who's their core? Todd Buckner. I mean, like, they didn't really have anyone. Now this year, Marcus Freeman has the team to do it. Can he do it and coach good in this game and win this game?
Look,
too?
it all just comes up to coaching decisions.
It does.
Exactly.
Both teams are very, very close in talent. Ohio State doesn't exactly have the quarterback, but they have the receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr.
See, the one thing about Ohio State compared to Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame does have the better quarterback, Ohio State has the better receivers. They have better outside threats.
Yeah.
Like, all Notre Dame's receivers are new. Like, I don't even remember or name a player off my head. But the good thing about Notre Dame, I think they're going to run the ball a lot with their two running backs. But Ohio State, they also have two elite good running backs. And then both defenses are...
Just great defenses.
They're
It's
both
they're
great
tight.
defenses.
It's gonna be tight.
It's gonna be real fun to
It's
see.
going to be a close game the whole time.
It should be a very close game. Before we move on to the NFL, we want to do our college football picks, and if you want to join us, click the Google form link down in the description. Our game of the week, as I'm sure you can probably guess, is Ohio State Notre Dame. We'll start with Sean for the picks.
Oh, I've been thinking this about a lot. Ohio State versus Notre Dame.
Sean, by the way, being a Notre Dame fan.
Give me the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
All right, Corso the Young has it. Alex, your pick. Oh, yes, you were Notre Dame. This is a Buckeye fan, by the way, so the bias
Gotta
is
go
coming in.
Buckeyes.
Of course it is. Ohio State loses by 30 now, we hope. Michael, what about you?
I'm gonna go with my Buckeyes. I think this is gonna be a good game, but I really do think that Ryan Day, Kyle McCord, and Marvin Harrison Jr. are gonna be able to do it this week.
Probably as the most indifferent person, I'm gonna just go with the Fighting Irish this week.
I'll go with the Fighting Irish because, as with Sean, I kind of hope it happens. I can see it happening. And if I'm being honest, I hope Ohio State loses in the most painful way
Yes,
possible.
I agree. I just want to see them lose.
Bro,
You
last
have-
time-
you've
I
had
don't
it
like
good
Ohio
for
State.
too long.
Honestly,
Bro,
I'm not a fan of.
You guys
crazy
blew it.
I'm not. I'm not a fan.
Matt.
I'm not a fan of any of the Big Ten
Hold on.
schools.
Ohio State blew it with Fields and Stroud. They couldn't win a national championship with them, and they blew it, even when they still had Wilson and Olave.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time Notre Dame made the playoff is when we had Ian Buck when we were in 7th grade. We want Notre Dame back in the playoff, and we want to do something. Let's go.
Let's hope Notre Dame can get in the playoff. The final.
Hey, let's just hope they can do it this week.
Yeah, the final 4-team playoff, by the way. But if Notre Dame wins this week, they have that momentum going into the other big games against USC and Clemson.
I
It
think,
should be
yeah,
good.
If they win this game, they're
Sure.
definitely making the playoff. most
Well,
likely.
I wouldn't say
I'm
so.
saying most likely, though.
Don't
Don't jinx
doubt.
it.
Don't
Anything
jinx
can
it, Sean.
happen with
Don't
college
jinx it.
football,
Saying most-
especially college
Anything
football.
can happen in college football.
I'm
That
saying
is
most-
true.
That's what makes.
That's what makes
that
it so
college
great.
Yeah.
I'm saying most likely.
Most likely. Well, let's hope the most likely outcome does happen. Now, we have everybody's favorite, the National Football League.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll start on Thursday Night Football. By the way, we have our resident statistician now, Alex McKay, who, at the mention of any player, will bring up the stats. So let's see. What were the stats of 2019 Frank Gore, Alex?
You know.
Oh, we caught him out. Anyways, Thursday Night Football. Vikings against the Eagles. That was Sean throwing his lunch at Alex.
I've been abused. John abuses me.
Anyways, Thursday Night Football between the Vikings and the Eagles. 34-28, the final score in the Eagles' favor. What a game, really. It was a crappy first half.
Yeah, bad first half.
Every single drive ended
That
in a
game.
turnover, pretty much. It was very, very
Yeah,
The Eagles got so lucky towards
Really?
the
Yeah.
end. I mean, yes, they scored still 21 points in the second half, but their defense, oh my God.
It was 13-7 at the end of the first half. Eagles
Yeah.
ended it with a field goal, but there was a stretch in the end of the first quarter, start of the second quarter here that was punt Vikings, punt Eagles, interception Eagles, fumble Vikings after one play, and then a missed field goal by Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And it was 3-0 2 minutes into the second quarter. In other
in the
Buffalo
second,
Wild Wings?
starting the second half, the Vikings were down 27-7, and somehow still almost won.
Yeah. And that was pretty much at the end of middle of the third quarter, pretty much.
Yeah, but some of those plays in the game were crazy.
It was a very
63-yard pass from Jalen Hurts for a touchdown, 62-yard pass for a touchdown from Kirk Cousins. I mean, crazy far touchdown passes.
Well, the money line was Eagles by 6, and the Eagles won by 6. So there you go to cover the spread.
The Eagles are getting lucky though overall in the season.
Not
Yes.
kind of.
You were up 16-0 in the first week, and then won 25-20.
And you were up 27-7 this week, and
Almost
the Vikings
lost.
came back, which they never do, to almost win.
Yeah.
So
Primetime Kirk Cousins almost did it again.
The Eagles are mid this year.
If I'm not mistaken,
they are.
before
I
the
mean-
Hey, look, they're gonna come up against some good teams this year, so we'll see.
I mean, the
They're gonna
Bucks.
lose
The
to
Bucks
the
are kind of
Giants.
like the Bucks are kind of like the surprise team of the
Yeah,
of the
for sure.
league
Definitely.
this
No
year
one
so
expected
far.
them to do well.
And the Eagles play them Monday night this week. Then you have would have been the Jets, but we don't talk about that. Dallas, Kansas City, and Buffalo, and San Fran, and then Dallas again. That's a 5-game stretch for you guys from November to December 10th. So that's going to be a big 5-game stretch for the Eagles. That's pretty much.
They're going to lose to Dallas. Dallas defense is too good.
Yeah, and then they're somehow gonna lose to the Giants.
Yeah.
On Christmas Day in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and then there's gonna
Like,
be a huge
with
riot.
with punt return game.
Mm-hmm.
Great game,
Yeah.
all that game.
Yeah.
No, but the
Miracle in the
Giants are going
Meadowlands.
to win.
But speaking
Part 45.
but
What is
yeah.
it now?
going back to the Buccaneers, they have a pretty easy season. I mean,
No one cares about the
Hey.
Buccaneers.
We kind of care about.
Yeah, we
the
kind of
Buccaneers.
care about the
They're-
Buccaneers
They're
now.
kind of doing okay.
after the
but, like,
Eagles, they play the Saints, then Lions, and Falcons.
They're doing good because they get a QB now.
The
and his
only
name's Baker Mayfield.
The only tough
Not that Tom Brady guy.
games that they would play
That's-
would probably be
Not
Yeah.
bro, putting Kyle
Forget
That
Trask.
scrub.
The Bills.
Absolute scrub.
the Bills would probably be their hardest game for the rest of the
No.
season,
Yeah.
unless the Jaguars
Well,
defense.
the
comes up.
Jags are all right this year.
They have a pretty decent defense.
On Sunday, we had a lot of good games.
Yeah.
We'll start with making fun of the Raiders because they lost 38-10 to Josh Allen, 274 yards for the Buffalo.
Michael was on
quarterback.
his knees watching the game and begging.
I just fire Josh McDaniels. That's all I have to say.
Oh, now you don't.
No, I
like
think-
it.
Josh
no.
McDaniels.
I think
Hold on, what
we just don't have defense.
Stop. What was your reaction when the Raiders first hired McDaniels?
I did not like the signing.
I really don't care.
Should have kept Bisaccia.
That's what I was thinking. He was more of.
Because like him and Jimmy G with that
I'm
could
gonna be honest. When I heard that they signed Josh McDaniels, I was like, "Who?"
But Josh McDaniels.
Exactly. That's what I was like.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels is a New England Patriots offensive coordinator, not
And
a head
former
coach.
Broncos.
Unless you're the head coach,
Yeah.
or an owner that everyone knows. I don't
Yeah.
know who they are.
Until he has Tom
he was the Broncos head coach in the
Yeah, and
early
he went,
2010s.
Until
went,
he
like,
has Tom
3
Brady
and
back on his
17.
team as quarterback
Tom
one,
Brady.
he's not doing anything anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was the head coach of the Broncos, I think he went like 3 and 17 between like 2 years or something. He had like crazy bad losing seasons.
Two other games that we want to talk about in the Sunday early window, actually, 3 other games. Packers Falcons, 25-24, with Atlanta coming back to win a game.
Yes.
Wow.
It was 9-10 going into the second half.
Desmond Ritter actually
Packers
did it.
scored 14 to the Falcons 3 in the third quarter.
24-12 with around 2 minutes left in the third.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, hey, it's
with less than a minute. It was 56 seconds left in the third quarter, and then the Falcons took the lead. I mean, Desmond Ritter 6-yard run, and then 2 field goals from Younghoe Koo.
It's a new era in Atlanta with Desmond Ritter and Kyle Pitts now.
Yeah, well, Atlanta is 2-0.
Yep. Falcons also being a surprise team of the year.
And they have Bijan Robinson,
And then
too.
Bijan Robinson,
Yeah,
which
Bijan
is pretty
Robinson,
big.
may I add, had
I mean,
19 carries for 100.
To be fair, they have only played the Panthers and the Packers already. They have the Lions next week.
But the fact they
and
beat
the
the
Jags
Packers,
the week
though.
after. But yeah, with Jordan Love doing pretty well, I would say, this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah,
And Michael could be the reason why one of the guidance counselors here lost in their survivor pool because he told her to pick the Packers. What happened?
Michael, what happened to
Yeah.
you?
I take the L on that one.
Yeah.
I seriously had a lot more hope that Jordan Love and the Packers were actually going to be that team to go in and take the win. I want to say it's my fault, and I'm sorry.
Okay, before we get any farther, I think I might have to say it now, and I'm probably going to be very wrong. I think the Falcons could have 10 wins this season at least.
What?
No
way.
Doors
Here
right
they're-
there.
yeah,
Mr.
doors-
McKay.
The trash
Door
can is right there, and the
Listen to
door
the
is right
No,
there.
no.
Listen to
Low
their
key,
schedule.
they could get like at least 9 wins though. They're not that bad.
They are
Yeah.
going against the
We're putting
the
the trash can
Texans,
down.
then they're going against the Commanders, then they're
They
probably
can
going to lose to the
win, bro.
Buccaneers. The Titans will be a close game. They're playing the Vikings, which who knows how that game will go. Then they're playing the Cardinals, and after that, besides the Buccaneers, they're really not going against anyone too good.
Oh, we'll just have to see. But Jordan Love, 151 yards, 3 touchdowns, so not a bad performance from him. Desmond Ritter, 237, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, so also not a bad performance from Ritter or Love, the two young quarterbacks for either of those teams.
Mhm.
Anyways, we had another battle in the AFC North with the Ravens coming up with a big win to go 2-0 without J.K. Dobbins and putting Big Boy Burrow with his new big contract down at 0-2, 27-24.
The hood and the NFL.
And
the
how
AFC
many-
North.
How many haircuts is Joe Burrow going to have to get?
I just want to
55.
say, Bengals, what
They're
happened?
playing so awful.
They suck.
Bro,
You pay Joe Burrow to be the highest paid player in the league, and you fall to
You can't
0-2.
win.
No,
You
he's
don't
not
have
on-
a game.
he's not the highest
Burrow
paid
being outperformed only by a little bit by Lamar Jackson, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, compared to Jackson, 237 and 2 touchdowns.
Before the NFL season started, I told both of these guys, I don't know if they, Alex and Michael, that the Ravens were going to win the AFC North. One of them disagreed with me, and look, I'm right. Like, they are.
far,
I
it's
never
still-
said it
it's
was
still
gonna
a
be the
very young
well,
season.
I think Alex was just
It's
It's young, but like
It's week 2.
But now,
It's-
now
now
we're
it's week
starting. Now
bad.
we're starting to
No.
see.
it's bad.
Just like the Chargers are 0-2.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
lost
Yeah.
to the damn Titans.
Well, we could have guessed that from the start. I feel.
Yeah.
Like. All as with last year, all the hype around Herbert is always bullcrap. So
Yeah.
never believe what
Same as
these-
Josh Allen too.
what Stephen A.
Allen
Smith
rebounded
says
himself.
about
Josh
Justin
Allen, I
Herbert.
think it is barely making. I think he's right now ranked 8th in passing yards this season.
If you're Stephon Diggs, do you leave or stay in Buffalo?
He's gonna stay.
He's gonna-
As long as Josh Allen is doing
Look,
Josh Allen things.
They need some
Yeah.
time. They need some time.
Yeah,
Get
and
it
he's
figured
not,
out.
and he's not gonna leave willingly. Like, at least unless he wants to, they're gonna have to trade him.
I see maybe he requests a trade, but
If I'm
he's
Diggs,
not just going to
I'm going to Dallas and play with my brother.
Yep, I can see that.
I can also see that.
I can see it.
And watch the Dallas Cowboys still lose in the playoffs.
Second
Yep.
round as always.
Yeah,
Yep.
Our game of the week
they don't
last
have a
week.
decent quarterback.
Yeah.
With Dak Prescott running it on with 20 seconds left in the game,
Terrible.
down by like 4.
Terrible.
In our game of the week last week was Kansas City against Jacksonville. That ended 17-9. A bit underwhelming there with only
Definitely.
3 touchdowns thrown. It looks like.
Yeah.
Actually, just
No, 2.
2 from.
They
I
were-
feel
Mahomes.
like
That was it.
Jacksonville it has a good offense, but I feel like they're missing someone else big and
Jacksonville?
explosive they need.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
that shows how it's been.
They're missing a piece.
They're missing a wide receiver.
Yeah, that
Well,
like,
I don't know.
Ridley's
They
been
have
doing
Christian-
all
they have
right.
Yeah,
Christian
yeah, but
Kirk,
like they
Calvin
need
Ridley.
that
They
one more
need
guy
that
though.
one big name, like that we don't know
Hey,
yet.
maybe go down south and try to lure Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
No, he's not leaving.
Mm.
Actually, no, I don't know.
Or then
Feels
maybe
so.
they can get someone from the draft.
That
Just like
too.
that's
yeah,
good
that's
to
the
late
biggest thing they
round.
can do at this point.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
The Jags
talk
do
about
have Calvin
Like-
Ridley, who's been
Well, yeah.
it was interesting week 1, but underperformed this week.
See, the Giants, they drafted Jalen Wyatt from Tennessee. Like, Jacksonville could have gotten before. I don't know why they didn't pick him, but.
Oh, but the thing is, Jaguars have Zay Jones.
But they need
Chris-
one. Stop naming
They
the
need more
rosters,
depth.
bro. They need one more guy to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah,
depth.
but I'm saying who they have.
It doesn't matter
They
who
don't-
they have. We already know who
okay,
they
but
have.
They
a
need
good
depth.
receiver core as of
It
now.
doesn't
need
matter.
more
They
depth.
need one more guy. Stop
Yes,
talking.
but the
Grow
three
up.
that they have is good.
It doesn't. They need one more
In
guy.
other news,
Come
we
on.
had 2 overtime games this week. Seattle beat Detroit 37-31 in overtime, which was also a pretty good game. Detroit now 1-1, Seattle now 1-1, and we had the Chargers now going 0-2. Justin Herbert, what happened? Actually, now a pretty good performance, 305, 2 touchdowns from Herbert, but they still did lose 27-24, which of course to Ryan Tannehill,
Wow.
who
One
put
thing
up
I will-
246 and 1 touchdown, so pretty good there. And Derrick Henry, 80 yards, 1 touchdown for my fantasy team, so thank you, Derrick. Keep doing that.
How did Derrick Henry go under 100 rushing yards when he's one of the best when fully healthy?
Because Tannehill actually balled out for 1 week of his career
And he
Wow,
threw
that-
for over, what did you say, 300 yards?
for over 245.
Tannehill was like, I'm going to play today.
Uh-huh.
Who's
He,
their,
he has 1 or 2 weeks in the season that where that happened.
His
Who's the
30-year-old
receiving
something. He's 30 years old. Now he's finally actually going to play for
He's
once
gonna
at
get-
all of his career.
He's going to somehow pull off some, like, random Tennessee miracle.
Yeah. So Chargers down to 0-2, Titans up to 1-1. In other news that we'll just gloss over, we had Tampa Bay beating Chicago 27-17. Indianapolis beat Houston, but at a cost in the rookie quarterback battle. 31-20 was the final score, but Anthony Richardson went into concussion protocol, and I believe he's now ruled out for at least 2, maybe 3 weeks. I think it was 3 to 5, they said, but I'm not
Anthony
very sure
Richardson?
about that. Yeah, Richardson. McKay will clear that up for us. San Francisco almost lost to statistically possibly the worst roster on paper in the Rams. 30-23 the final score there, when it probably should have been a lot less for Los Angeles or a lot more for San Fran. The Giants beat Arizona even though they were down to a team that is actually not even hiding the fact that they're tanking. They were down 27 to nothing at halftime or 27 to 7 at
They
halftime.
were down 20-0 at halftime. Cardinals proceeded to score 8 points in the third, 0 in the fourth, and the Giants score 14 in the third and 17.
Now here's the thing: are the Giants gonna play bad again and tank? Or are they gonna play good like they did in the second half now?
Well, Daniel Jones did actually live up to the hype, 321 yards passing, so pretty good performance from Daniel.
And yes,
A
he threw an
decent
intercep-
game
yes,
for
he
his
threw an
career.
interception,
A game he actually
but
put
had
up
2
points.
touchdowns.
Yeah, he actually did pretty well for
And
the
may-
Giants that are now paying him $40 million a year for some reason.
Yeah, and may I add,
Nice job there.
Yeah, and may I add, Jalen Hyatt actually had a pretty decent game. Yes, he only had 2 receptions, but he did have 89 receiving yards on those receptions,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. I mean, those are his first stats of his career.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's really good.
And we won't talk about the Jets losing 30-10 to the Cowboys. We did have a nice ending in Denver for all the Raiders fans in the room. 35-33 final score. If you didn't see it, how could you not see it? Hail Mary from Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Tip 1, tip 2 into the hands of, I forget who the receiver was.
Was it?
It was
It
I
might have
think
been
it was
Mims.
It
Yeah,
was
Was
Mims.
it
Mims.
I wasn't sure if it was.
Mims had 1 touchdown.
So
going
touchdown for Denver. They needed a 2-point conversion to tie it up.
And
No
they-
good on the 2-point conversion.
You want to know what they call
Denver
it?
goes down
The
to 0-2.
DPI wasn't called, though.
Commanders up to 2-0, and yes, there was DPI on that 2-point conversion,
Was
but
never
no
called.
flags.
You want to know
because
what they
who cares?
call when the ball tips in the air?
What?
Tip drill.
Okay. Yep. A tip
Yeah.
drill there on the Hail Mary.
Russell Wilson looking like his old self in a way. 308 yards with 3 touchdowns and an interception.
Yes, very
But
good.
he did
But
still
he is on
sold
the
on your boy
Broncos,
and lost
so
to the
he could get-
Commanders.
So he could be throwing 308 yards one week, and then the next week throw 50.
A very good game
And lose
for
again.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
On Sunday Night Football, a pretty good game where the Dolphins came away the winners 24-17. Big highlight from this one, that field goal block where you had, or the punt block. I forgot
think
which
it was a
one it
field goal.
was.
Field goal.
We had the guy on the right of the snap. He's lining up like he's blocking the receiver, comes in, towards the line, turns exactly, timed it perfect, blocks the field goal. And, well, that was for the Patriots, the blocked field goal, but it didn't really matter. Final score 24-17.
I've said it before, and I say it again. Tua Tagovailoa, I believe, is going to be comeback player of the year.
I don't know after
He's
this
already
week's game.
almost at.
I can see it.
He's already almost at 1,000 yards with 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and a QBR of
I can also see it.
78.3.
Well,
which is third.
he almost broke the Dolphins' passing record in his first game of this year.
Yeah.
So
But the thing is, Tua compared to week 1 had a horrible game.
Who
He only
cares?
threw for 250 yards and had.
You know what?
250
We
still
can chalk it
good,
up to a
though.
bad game unless he has another bad game this
Yeah.
week.
No,
That-
he's
that-
played
that
all
game was
right.
one or two
That
weekends.
game was.
And on Monday Night Football, the big game that we'll take a look at, Pittsburgh coming away the winners against Cleveland 26-22. The big news for Cleveland is that their star running back, Nick Chubb, had that gruesome injury. And
that video I saw where it was a close up on the players. It was disgusting.
His entire knee just bent back. I'd be surprised if he walks again. It was like
And
Alex Smith a few years
and
ago,
may
and
I add, it was
Joe
a-
Theismann before that.
May I add, it was the same knee he had done something he had hurt a few years back when I believe he was in high school.
Look,
or
I can only
college.
hope that
In,
no
in
one gets hurt.
2015, so
Yeah,
I'm not
but
sure.
That was just
he
a-
tore like 4 different ligaments in his
Yeah.
in his knee.
That was just such
What's up
an
with the deal?
injury-filled game.
What's up with the deal of players getting hurt Monday Night Football? I swear.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know.
He had Hamlin last year, Rogers last week, and now Chubb this week.
Yeah,
And then Kyler
and-
Murray with.
You know what? I can only
Yeah.
hope that an Eagles player doesn't get hurt.
See,
Yeah,
if
that's
you
my
if
bad.
you think about it,
Jalen Hurts out for the season.
if you think about it, should they
That would actually
remove
suck.
Thursday Night Football so they'll give more players from less injury?
Well, they should get rid of Thursday Night Football because those are crap games.
Well, no.
but
So what
they
they've been
won't do
doing
that.
is that they've been deciding to do this. Is that they're starting to play
More
Thursdays. The people who play on Thursday play on Monday, and then
Yeah, so then they get
when
the
they play on
longer week.
Monday, they go to Sunday.
Yeah, that
There's-
makes sense.
Thursday's just an odd game for a random football game.
Yeah, well, it makes them money,
They
so
do
they'll
Friday
keep doing
Night
that.
Football. Like,
No,
You know what? It
because
keeps the
high
games
school.
spread out throughout the week. It's fun.
Eh,
You get a little bit of.
I don't
you
like
get a
It's
it.
little
like saying
bit of
throw
action.
one on a Tuesday, throw one on a Saturday.
well, with the writer strike now and all these over the air channels not being able to show anything,
Yeah.
the
The
NFL
problem with Thursday Night
the NFL
Football-
will figure out. Ooh, we could put a game on Tuesday or Wednesday night or Friday night, and everybody would watch.
the problem with Thursday Night Football, it's on Prime, and for me
Yeah.
to watch a game, I have to go downstairs
No,
in my basement.
Monday night is
and
on
put-
Prime.
No,
No,
I'm talking
Thursday
Thursday
night.
night.
Thursday nights are on Prime.
I had to
Yeah.
go downstairs in my basement, go to Amazon Prime, instead of watching it
Thursday,
upstairs.
Friday,
Exactly.
6 p.m.
But yeah,
It's a hassle to get set up, and even then, I remember last year when I tried to watch the Bills Patriots Thursday night game, it was horrific quality. Last week's Thursday night was actually pretty good with
Yeah.
that.
Like, but what is their score?
And you know what? They're not even making more money off of putting it on Prime. Really.
They are probably making less, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
It's just
It's
more
hard to
money for
define.
Amazon Prime.
And even then, it still has to be broadcast on the over-the-air channels in the local markets. Like Buffalo, it has to be on CBS or Fox if Buffalo's on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to add before we end in a few moments, the leaders of the different conferences, we have the Dolphins leading the AFC East at 2-0. We have the Ravens leading the AFC North at 2-0. Jaguars, Colts, and Titans all tied 1-1, leading the AFC South. The Raiders and Chiefs both 1-1, leading the AFC West. The Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders all tied 2-0.
Yeah.
At
Commanders are gonna
NFC
drop
East.
soon.
Packers and Lions tie at 1-1 in the NFC North. Falcons, Saints, and Buccaneers all tied 2-0 for the NFC South, and then for the NFC West we have the 49ers at 2-0.
Quickly, let's do our pick of the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our game of the week for this week, Monday Night Football, Eagles against Bucks. We start with Sam.
I'm gonna say hello to my boys, flying in green.
Yep. And we hope Jalen Hurts gets injured. Michael.
He said flying in green. That means he likes the Jets.
J-E-T-S,
let's Jets.
All right, Michael, your pick
All right.
very quickly.
I'm going with Baker and the Bucks.
All right. Sean, you're up.
I'm gonna go to Boy Baker Mayfield, the bar from Oklahoma. They're gonna take down the
Progressive
Eagles.
at home with Baker Mayfield at the Ray J. Alex, your
With
pick.
Baker Mayfield, who still hates his kicker.
Let's
because
go
he
with
killed
Tampa
him
Bay.
in college.
Let's go
Wait,
with
what's it-
Tampa Bay
oh.
because Eagles suck, even though half of my family's from Philadelphia. Other big games next week. We have Giants San Fran on Thursday night. That's not really that big. Our final game that we didn't go over on Monday night, Saints beat the Panthers 20-17.
Because the Saints are winning the Super Bowl.
And one more thing that we want to mention with that Chubb injury, Kareem Hunt back to the Browns. So if you're in fantasy and he isn't picked up, pick him up because he may put up some good points. Anyways, if you want to make your picks and be featured on this show, go down in the description to the Google form and you can make your picks. That should be right down below. Just scroll down and click on the link. So for my co-host Sean Barry, Michael McKay, Sam Koppelman, and Alex McKay, this is Matthew Merlino. Thank you for joining us on episode 3, season 2 of the Pascack Clutch Podcast.